Hi, it's Elise here at Bowman Library with a whole new middle grade book spotlight. So, for this time, we are taking a look at some of the amazing new books that we have gotten here at the library, okay? So, we have 6 amazing ones we're going to look at. We have a combination of some awesome fiction, there's some nonfiction, especially one I'm really excited to share with you for nonfiction. You know how much I love nonfiction. But I always like to start by, when we do a new book one, a friendly reminder. Always, when you come to the library, check out the new book displays and sections because you never know. We're always getting new stuff here, and you might find your next new favorite best read sitting on those new shelves, okay? So always, always, always make sure you take a look at them, okay? But to kind of get you a little taste, a little preview, we have 6 amazing new books we're going to take a look at. So let's get started. Our first one is The Sky Over Rebecca. Okay, so you gotta bear with me on this one. Okay. This is one of the more maybe complicated reads we've talked about in a while. Okay, so yeah, we start by meeting 10-year-old Kara, and she lives in Sweden with her mother and her grandfather. So her mother's kind of like a workaholic, so she spends a lot of time with her grandfather and the stories that he tells her. She starts exploring the woods around their house when she gets bored, and as she is exploring on various days, she starts to notice some odd details, such as like the first one she notices is there is this pristine, perfect snow angel in the on the snow, okay, but there are no footprints. Okay, then next day she stumbles across some gold coins that have the year 1942 on them, and they also have the swastika, the symbol of Nazi Germany. Okay, then the third weird thing she runs into is a Jewish girl named Rebecca who is trying to escape from the Nazis with her disabled younger brother Samuel. But why is this super weird? Because our story is set in present day, okay? Making that Rebecca and her brother Samuel are from almost 80 years in the past from when our story is taking place. Kara soon realizes that she needs to help these 2 siblings, okay? If they're going to get back to their respective time, as well as if they are going to survive when they get back to 1944. But that is going to mean that they are all going to have to enter a time loop in order to return them to 1944 and to help them survive through the Holocaust. This historical fantasy story is when it's filled with friendship, family, history. There's a little bit of suspense, but it's an incredible and unique take on history and of the time period. And again, it's a little bit more of a complicated read. So if you're looking for a book that maybe you want to pay a little bit more to the storyline or have to maybe dissect a couple things here and there, yeah, this one right here, The Sky Over Rebecca. Okay, new nonfiction. I cannot wait to share this one with you, okay? I love this type of stuff. Okay, our new one right here, this is Plague Busters, Medicine Battles with the History's Deadliest Diseases. Okay, so it's all about 6 deadly diseases which have occurred throughout history, such as plague, smallpox, rabies, tuberculosis, cholera, and scurvy, okay? Now, not only will you learn about the details of these diseases here, okay, you'll learn about where did it start, where has it been found, what happens to you if you come down with one of these old diseases, okay? They're not really around anymore. No fears, okay? Right here, okay? But you also find out how are they treated? Who are the heroes with these diseases? Who are maybe not so much the heroes? Maybe it took some failures for people to become heroes type deal, okay? This is filled with so many interesting facts. There are some gross moments, naturally, because we're talking about plagues and diseases here, okay? But there's profiles of disease-fighting individuals, primary sources, and more, okay? Now, even if you don't like nonfiction, if you're like, ugh, nonfiction is horrible, nay right here, okay? So I encourage you, check out this one, learn a couple things, become a plague expert to your friends, okay? And then we're going to be on the lookout for the next one in this series because it's going to be so good, okay? Love this one. Oh, I encourage everyone, this one right here, Plague Busters. Make sure you check it out. The Dubious Pranks of Shandy Goodman. Okay, this is the new award winner. It's an incredible story. So, 12-year-old Shandy has been having a really hard time at school lately. Attending a small Orthodox Jewish school, okay, everyone knows everyone there. She's been having a hard time. She's been feeling really lonely, been having a hard time making friends. Something that we all can relate to at one time or another. That is why it's a total surprise when one day, the most popular girl in the school, the one that everyone thinks is perfect, okay, asks her to hang out after school. Her name is Gail, okay? She's even more surprised after starting to hang out with Gail that Gail then asks her if she wants to break into the school with her one evening. She somehow has gotten a master key. Do you want to break into the school and commit a series of harmless pranks on some of their classmates? Shandy goes along with it because she doesn't really know what to do, and she's kind of like, you know, I have a friend, so I gotta do what I need to keep my friend, okay? But as the pranks start to continue, it wasn't just a one-time thing, okay? They continue more and more and more frequent, and not only more frequent, but then they become more cruel and risky. They are not so harmless anymore. Shandy starts to become more uncomfortable with the situation, but she doesn't know how to get rid of it, especially since she doesn't want to get in trouble, right? Nor does she want Gail taking revenge on her and she becoming the victim of one of Gail's new pranks. Shandy's the only one, though, that can decide what it is she needs to do. A realistic look at a situation that we have all been in at one time or another, okay? And you will totally be able to relate to Shandy with her emotions, her thought process, what she's going through, and you'll be cheering for her throughout the whole journey. This is The Dubious Pranks of Shandy Goodman. The Woman in the Moon. Okay, so this amazing biography is about a woman that everyone should know about, but very few actually do. In this book, we meet mathematician Margaret Hamilton. She was basically essential to astronauts landing on the moon in 1969. Because you know what she did? She was responsible for writing the code, which then went into the computer systems on the Apollo spacecraft, which helped the spacecraft be guided to the moon and back. I would say that's a pretty important component here. For the most part, she was the only woman who was involved in the conversations and the process throughout this time in the space race, and this accomplishment would not have been possible without her. Now, not only will you learn about her life, as well as a ton of information about the space program and the race to be the first country to land a man on the moon. It is chock-a-block full. There's primary source photos. I mean, it's an incredible resource. It's not even just about her, but about the journey in and of itself. If you love learning about space, computer programming, or just want an interesting read, this is it. You will learn so much, a ton of information. This is The Woman in the Moon. Ebb and Flow. This novel in verse brings us to 7th graders Ebb and Flow. And when our story starts, we find out they are currently suspended from middle school for the next 10 days for fighting with each other after a heated exchange leads to some blows being thrown at each other. Suspension looks different for each girl, but they are both faced with having to explain why they did what they did, as well as reflecting on the fact that they have more in common with one another than they ever thought, especially when it comes to their family situations and how emotions are shared, or more times, not shared. The story is messy just like life is, with the consequences that come with choices and actions, and it's when their fight goes viral and people in the community start choosing sides that Ebb and Flow are going to need to decide for themselves what they are going to do, and they need to have some accountability with their actions. This realistic novel is layered with real life situations, emotions, and will have you thinking about situations you have maybe been in, that you've had to do some reflection, some accountability, making some different choices. This is Ebb and Flow. And our last new book is Farewell Cuba, Ila. Okay, so Victoria finds herself having to flee her beloved country of Cuba with her family in October 1960 when Fidel Castro comes to power and the revolution starts, okay? Heading to America with none of their belongings, they know it is going to be difficult as they know no one, they know nothing of the culture, they don't speak English, they know nothing of this new country they are in. For Victoria, it is especially hard for her because she has left her best friend, who is also her cousin, Jackie, behind. Okay, now Jackie and her family are still in Cuba, and they are living in the midst of this ever-growing upheaval revolution in which people are being arrested, killed, torn away from families, a variety of horrible situations. Now, this book is told through both of their perspectives. So you will experience the dangerous situations taking place in Cuba that Jackie faces on a daily basis, while Victoria is dealing with life as a refugee in the United States. And in order to survive, there's going to be a difficult decision that's going to be made by both girls, and there is no guarantee that their safety is going to happen, okay? This is an impactful historical fiction novel from two unique points of view, and they're voices that we usually don't get to hear about or from. So I highly encourage you to go into this one open eyes, open heart. This is Farewell Cuba, me Ela, okay? So here we go. 6 amazing new books. Encourage you to come on out, check out some of these, or again, look at the new book displays because there's new stuff coming out all the time, okay? And again, you might find something that maybe you didn't even know was coming out, and it's going to make your library visit just that much better, okay? So I hope you have an amazing week, and I hope you tune back next time for a whole new middle grade book spotlight.